Und schon sind wir in der nächsten Folge. Wir wollen jetzt erstmal mit Lauro sprechen.
Good day, sailor. I've been told that you know the missing cabin boy well. Is that right?
You talking about Jonas? You bet your stars I know him. But like I've been crying to the 9 death winds. He didn't go missing, he was taken.
Er sagt also, der Junge wurde entführt. Dann fragt man am besten einfach mal, was er
Were
denn
you a
so
witness
weiß.
to the event?
Yes, I was. Even though I'd had a few tumblers in the belly, I hadn't yet lost my head. The other day, in the tavern, I saw him talking to a well-dressed man, surrounded by some other sly ruffians. And then when we left, him and I, Flavia left a little earlier, you understand. Well, those brutes were there, waiting for him. They just up and took him like that. Grabbed his arms and poof. Gone. Vanished.
Why didn't you intervene?
I tried to, believe me. But my legs betrayed me. Wavering they were. And I fell into the gutter.
Did you report this to the captain?
Unfortunately not. I know all too well what weight my words carry. Even Flavia treated me like a drunken fool. And the captain? No, not telling him that. I still have some pride left. You get me?
Okay, also er hat gesehen, was passiert ist. Zumindest denkt er hat es gesehen, man weiß es nicht, er hat viel getrunken. Hat es aber niemandem gesagt, weil ihm niemand glauben wird. So ist seine Meinung. Dann fragen wir einfach nach dem Gemütszustand des Schiffjungen.
Did Jonas seem troubled to you the night you disappeared?
Maybe. For sure he wasn't his usual self.
Do you know what was on his mind?
No. No idea.
Okay, das war nicht so informativ. Dann fragen wir mal noch nach den Entführern.
Why would anyone want to snatch a mere cabin boy?
How would I know? Jonas is a gentle boy who keeps his head down. You think my story is nothing but mist too, don't you?
It's just that I can't imagine a gang of thugs hoping to get a ransom for a cabin boy. Did anyone else see the kidnapping?
There was still a small crowd in the tavern. But outside, I seem to recall that regular being there. We play cards with him from time to time. Kind of fellow who plays from morning to night time to be that skilled. But now and again he comes out. When nature calls, you know. I kind of remember his face being there.
Es gibt also möglicherweise noch einen Zeugen. Gut zu wissen. Dann wollen wir noch wissen, was er von Captain Vasco hält.
What do you think about Captain Vasco?
He's a just man who knows his knots. He's well appreciated by the crew. It's a pity that he hasn't much heart for laughs now and again. Always seems unhappy, our captain.
Also der Captain ist immer sehr ernst.
Thank you, Lara. I need to be going.
Strange story this is.
Something isn't right here, I can feel it. We need to lift the veil on this.
Das stimmt. Die Story ist wirklich komisch. Ein Schiffsjunge wird entführt. Der ist jetzt nicht gerade ein Reicher, also ein Lösegeld kann es, denke ich mal, nicht liegen. So, hier soll man eher nach Konstantin fragen, und dann ist auch hier gleichzeitig der Zeuge. Das macht doch Sinn. Gehen wir gleich direkt dorthin. Auf geht's. Im Laufschritt. So, aber aufpassen, nicht, dass wir hier noch irgendwelche Kisten übersehen, die noch wertvollen Inhalt haben, wie die hier zum Beispiel. Was wertvoll ist, weiß ich nicht. Heiltrank ist wichtig. Entweder tot oder besoffen. Stockbesoffen. Oder in den Tod gesoffen. Naja. Wenn, er hat's schön warm. So, was haben wir denn hier? Nicht viel. Sind wir hier? Was ist das? Ein Werktisch. Das Handwerk ermöglicht es dir, deine Waffen und Rüstungen zu verbessern. Mit Hilfe von Wissenschaft kannst du Tränke und Fallen fertigen. Du brauchst Wissen, um den Werktisch verwenden zu können. Okay, Erhalt von Wissen, verteile Punkte auf die gewünschten Talente, verwende bestimmte Ausrüstungsteile oder Gefährten, die dir einen Bonus gewähren können. Jeder Talentpunkt schaltet neue Rezepte frei. Du brauchst außerdem Zutaten, die du kaufen oder während Erkundungen finden kannst. Ob ich da jetzt schon viel machen kann? Er zieht direkt mal sein Stilett. Kann ich damit jetzt irgendwas machen? Stilett verbessern. Da fehlen einfach Teile hier. Ich bräuchte Fertigungslevel 2. Überhaupt. Hier wäre Fertigungslevel 1. Das habe ich aber alles nicht. Also ich habe da noch nichts. Was ich machen könnte. Das wird bei dem anderen wahrscheinlich genauso aussehen. Ja. Das ist genau das gleiche. Ich habe ja schließlich auch keinen Punkt drauf gegeben. So, haben wir hier noch irgendwas? Verbrauchsgegenstände. Okay. Dann gehen wir mal in die Schenke. So, Tür aufgerissen. Was haben wir hier liegen? Sammeln. Das ist schön, da liegen Goldmünzen und durch die sammle ich einfach ein. Okay. In GreedFall kann eine Quest meist auf verschiedene Arten abgeschlossen werden. DSAD hat mehrere Eisen im Feuer. Raffinesse, Überredungskunst, Intuition, Korruption, das Fertigen von Gegenständen auf dem Werktisch. Das alles sind Wege, die dir zur Verfügung stehen, um deine Ziele zu erreichen. Um dich in diesen Gebieten zu verbessern, verteilst du Punkte im entsprechenden Talentbaum oder trägst Ausrüstung, die Boni bietet. Drohungen und der Kampf sind weitere probate Optionen, wenn deine Feinde nicht empfänglich für deine Talente sind. Haben wir schon gemerkt, oder? Charisma hatte nicht funktioniert, also habe ich eine gedroht. Und kurzen Prozess gemacht. Sprich mit Passant.
Sire, I'm sorry. I'm afraid that I won't make for good company.
Bist du hier hinten der Stammgast? Ah, ist der Stammgast, genau.
Who are you? I don't recognize you. Am I in your debt?
No. Have no fear about that. It's for a different reason that I am here. I'm looking for a Naut that disappeared 2 days ago, after visiting this establishment. A young cabin boy. 2 members of his crew accompanied him.
Yes, that does ring a bell. I've played with the 3 of them.
Also er kennt die schon mal, er hat mit den
What can you tell me about the
Karten
boy?
gespielt.
How was he that night?
He seemed rather nervous, as if he was worried about something. Didn't feel like playing, that I remember. And he must have been right to be nervous, if he's disappeared.
Okay, was ist während des Abends passiert?
Tell me what happened that evening.
A rich merchant came in, with a band of strong arms. The kind of men you can round up for a few coins, if you catch my drift. They exchanged words with the cabin boy. The kid was defensive, not sitting pretty. And then they finally left.
And after that?
It just so happens that I did go out for a breather. Needed some fresh air. And I think I might well have seen those same men grab him. But that was none of my business. I wouldn't have thought that they were kidnapping him if that's what it was. They weren't particularly rough with him.
Okay. Er hat also von einem reichen Mann und Handlangern gesprochen. Und gemeint, dass die nicht so sonderlich grob waren zu ihm.
Who was the rich merchant, do you think? A jilted lover? A moneylender?
No, sir. You are in luck. It so happens that I know the man. It was Sir Fontaine, that merchant.
Where can I find him?
He has a house in the wealthy boroughs, just off the canal. A stone's throw from the Theleme embassy.
Thank you. You've been immensely helpful.
This man is completely owned by his love for the game. Do you think we can trust him?
What would he gain from lying?
I have no idea. But what would any wealthy merchant gain from holding a penniless child?
Also ist das jetzt wohl zu einer neuen Quest geworden, vermute ich. Aber wir sprechen erstmal mit dem Jeffroy.
Good day, tavern keeper.
Good day to you. What is your pleasure?
Ich frage erstmal nach anderen Dingen. Erstmal nach seinem Geschäft.
How is business going these days?
It's picking up. We've not seen many new customers, but of late things are looking better. The Malicor and the neighbouring wars have dampened commerce. The epidemic still rages, but the possibility of finding a cure on that island has given people something to hope for. Now that we have a city there, quite a few seafarers come by to spend their wages.
Okay, also Geschäft läuft gut. Zwar weniger neue Kunden, aber er kann, wie es aussieht, nicht klagen.
Has the Malicor really put a damper on your business?
More than a damper. They were soaked. When the sickness began to spread, a wave of panic followed in its wake. People stopped going out of their homes. They were afraid. I was close to closing shop, I tell you. And then, thankfully, the alchemists of the bridge said that you couldn't just catch it like that. People are still distrustful, as is their nature, but they are leaving home again. It's a start. I also lost quite a few regular customers. Dead or too scared to venture back. Oh, but that's nothing new to you. The city would have sunk in the water if not for trade with the new isle.
Okay.
With all these sailors coming and going, you must have heard some stories about Tirfredi.
Right. Even stories that my heaviest drinkers would have trouble believing. They say that man-trees live there. Dragons and gigantic creatures. Treasure abounds under every rock. And the source of eternal life is hidden somewhere there. Last night, some Nauts even told me they brought back one of those giant beasts into the port. Ah, but you know the kind. If you ask my opinion, the drink was fueling their imaginations.
Also auf der Insel soll es jede Menge Wesen, Kreaturen geben, die aber besonders groß sind. Interessant ist, dass da welche behauptet haben, eine Kreatur mit in den Hafen gebracht zu haben. Das wird bestimmt nochmal eine Rolle spielen. Möglicherweise ist es sogar in dem Schiff drin und es soll zurückgebracht werden. So, jetzt fragt man noch Konstantin.
I'm looking for my cousin. His name is Constantine. I believe he was intent on celebrating his departure last night.
There was indeed a party here last night, but it ended badly.
Whatever do you mean?
A brawl broke out. My tavern was shattered, and no one's paid for the damages.
I'm sorry. Amongst the rebel rousers, did there happen to be a young man? 20 years of age. Hair down to his neck, light brown, blue eyes. Quite the talker.
I don't believe it. Of course he was there. He's the man that started the fight. I hope you've come to reimburse me. Don't count on me to help you if that's not the case.
What kind of damage are we talking about exactly?
A good half of my furniture was broken into firewood. I piled up the lot over there.
Let me take a look. Perhaps it can be repaired.
If you can fix it, I'll be obliged. If not, you'll need to pay.
Ich schaue es mir erstmal an, vielleicht kann man ja da sogar Geld
That's not
sparen.
a small sum. I need to think about my options.
Oh, the father has forgotten to give his son his allowance, it would seem.
I need to be off. Farewell.
Goodbye.
So, Mobiliar zerstört. Ach, was haben wir hier? Untersuchen.
The furniture is in terrible condition. The fight must have been extremely violent.
It looks as if it's fixable. I've seen worse. We'll need to build some metal dowels, but once done, we can make them like new.
Also ich müsste Metalldübel herstellen. Allerdings habe ich das Talent nicht freigeschaltet, also machen wir mal den einfachen Weg hier. Das Geld.
Well then, were you able to repair it all?
No, I haven't been able to sort them out.
In that case, you need to pay me, sir.
Hier ist dein Gold.
Here you are, to cover your expenses.
Excellent. Honest books makes for honest friendships. Your cousin is either a very bad joker or a right good fool. He went and insulted a band of ruffians from the lower boroughs. Dangerous fellows. They've a storehouse they operate out of a few streets from here.
What kind of business do they run?
Several, actually, and they're all illegal and profitable. But you didn't hear that from me. In any case, if you were set on recovering your cousin, I would hurry if I were you. They're not the tender sorts.
Thank you for the information.
Off with ya. Get him out of whatever mess he's got himself into. Seemed like a courageous fellow. Who could down his pint? Anything else?
I need to be off. Farewell.
Goodbye.
So. Da wissen wir nur Bescheid. Er ist möglicherweise in diesen besagten Lagerhäusern gefangen. Ah, das sind nicht die, das sind die hier ganz woanders. Ich hätte gedacht, ich muss wieder hier hinter. Lagerhäuser, nein. Hier könnte er also irgendwo sein. Was haben wir hier? Portiermeister, kleine Groschenkarte. Aha, hier ist auch noch ein Nebenquest. Ah ja, Sir Fontaine. Ach, in dem Haus war ich ja drin. Da war ja nichts, aber das ist mit diesen Entführen. Ne? Da könnte ich ja noch mal da wieder zurückgehen. Gehen wir am besten hier hinten rum, weil da war ich noch nicht. Also nur links. Schauen, ob es noch ein paar Kisten gibt. Mhm, ein Marktschreier. Was hat er denn zu sagen?
Come closer now, good people. Don't be afraid. Come.
Wunder der Wissenschaft.
Celebrate the miracle of science. You won't believe your eyes. This discovery will give you faith in existence.
Die stehen alle einfach nur da. Keiner macht was.
I wish you a good day, Your Excellency.
Come one, come all. Citizens of Serene,
Oh, gehen wir weiter.
come to me. You won't regret this miraculous opportunity. Your time is precious in these dark hours.
Hier kann man klettern, aber wir wollen ja weiter in diese Richtung. Ist hier durch? Oh, hier kommen wir durch. Wo kommen wir denn hier hin? Alchemistisches Forschungsbuch. Diese Seiten beschreiben in kleiner, fast unleserlicher Handschrift Versuchsergebnisse, Beobachtungen von Patienten und unverständliche Symbole. Doch die Komplexität einiger Rezepte zeigt eindeutig, dass der Verfasser ein echter Alchemist war und gewiss sehr kenntnisreich. Also ein Buch gefunden. Hey, hey, hey. Hier geht's los. So, hier. Geht drauf. Jetzt auch. War's das? Wo kommen die denn plötzlich her? Aber wenigstens haben sie ein paar Goldmünzen. Und einen Banditenhut. Altes, stumpfes Florett. Das schaue ich mir mal an. Es ist doch etwas länger als mein Stilet, aber der physische Schaden und der Rüstungsschaden gehen zurück. Gegenüber dem alten rostigen Säbel wäre das auch Nee. Dann lassen wir das. Aber hinten war jetzt auch nichts weiter. Okay, also gehen wir wieder raus. In diese Richtung. Gehen da durch und schauen weiter. Wo müssen wir jetzt hin? Wir wollen hier hinter. Hier geht's dann nicht weiter. Ach, so nicht. Genau, jetzt hier und dann gleich wieder rechts. Dann sind wir wieder in dem schönen Haus, in dem wir schon mal waren. Dort will ich hinein und hineinstürmen. Bumm.
Might I help you, sir?
I would like to have a word with Sir Fontaine.
He is absent, but the lady of the house could certainly receive you. Enter, please.
Wird sie wieder putzen neben den Gläsern, so wie das letzte Mal? Ja, diesmal nicht. Diesmal schämt sie sich. Sie hat erkannt, das Putzen macht keinen Sinn. Okay. Hier waren wir ja schon mal, oben stand ja die Dame des Hauses.
Oh, I know you. I've seen you at court. You are Lord de Sade. And to what do I owe the honor of your visit, Excellency?
I would like to have a word with your husband.
He is not here, but perhaps I could be of help.
It concerns a delicate matter. We're looking for a missing cabin boy. According to witnesses, he had an argument with your husband before being taken.
I see. I am afraid that you have been misled. You seem to have come to the wrong conclusion. The cabin boy you speak of was not taken. He has simply returned home.
Excuse me, but I'm not sure I understand.
Don't you see, Your Excellency? We got our son back.
Also der Schiffsjunge ist der Sohn. Mhm. Ja, sprechen wir erstmal über den Streit.
I am very surprised. Several witnesses confirmed that your son had a fight with your husband, and that his men escorted him from the tavern using force. If he had joined your husband willingly...
Witnesses? In a tavern? And you choose to believe these drunkards over a respectable family?
These witnesses are all in agreement, and it's their testimonies that have led me to your doorstep.
My son was probably shocked to have found us. My husband and the other men might have simply had to carry him. A gesture that your drunkards must have misunderstood.
Aber der eine Trunkenbold hatte ja auch gesagt, dass es nicht so grob war. Das wird er natürlich das alles erklären. So, warum haben die Nauten den Sohn mitgenommen?
What was your son doing on a Naut ship? Why would they have taken him?
It is what they do. Through pacts and contracts, they steal away young children from their mothers.
What are you talking about?
I would have thought that a legate would know these things. But it is true that you are young and inexperienced. It seems that you have been protected from the turpitudes of our own nation and their terrible allies. This horrible, constant ransoming that they put us through. But I will not say another word. You will have no trouble verifying the details now that you know what to look for.
Where might I find your son now?
I cannot say, Excellency. You must understand why. Until the Nauts have set sail, we live in fear they will take him back from us.
This pact? It sounds like some fear-inducing story.
The Nauts wouldn't be the first to recruit through dubious means.
Also durch Erpressung bekommen sie neue Mitglieder. Das ist natürlich interessant. Aber nicht schön, so. Da könnte man jetzt den Captain fragen. Gibt es viele verschiedene Quests. Dann gehen wir erstmal zum Captain wieder hin. Also zurück zum Hafen. Falsch abgebogen. Nochmal, zurück zum Hafen. Mit dem richtigen Weg klappt das auch. Platz da, Platz da. Platz da, habe ich gesagt. Boah, die ein breites Kreuz. Kam ich nicht mehr vorbei. So, jetzt müsste ich ja fast am Hafen sein. So, Da sind wir schon wieder am Hafen. Und da ist der Captain.
Sir, you still haven't found your cousin. As you well know, we cannot leave without him.
Have no fear. I will bring him back in time to make our scheduled departure. Is everything ready?
I'm still without news of my cabin boy, but we will have to do without.
So, was haben wir denn hier so für Fragen? Das hat man alles schon. Dann fragen wir mal nach Madame Fontaine.
I spoke with a woman who told me she was the mother of the cabin boy. She claims that her son was taken from her.
Taken? Her son is sea-gifted. His parents were required to give him up to honor the terms of a contract.
A contract? But what kind of contract are we speaking of?
A commercial contract. In exchange for services rendered by the Nords, some families cede more than gold. In some cases, nations even trade some of their subjects before they're born. I wouldn't be able to tell you the condition of Jonas's contract. I didn't even know he was originally from Serene. But what I can tell you is the young man hasn't seen his parents since he was a small child. And ever since, he's been a Nord. Our ships are his home. We are his only family.
Be back soon, Captain.
You see anyone else who might be able to help us? Anyone who's not a Naut?
Sir de Corsillion's a veritable well of scientific knowledge. He could tell us a little more.
Das ist ja schon wieder mal eine krasse Geschichte. Also die Kinder werden noch vor der Geburt bereits an die Nauten vertragstechnisch abgegeben, um wahrscheinlich Geld zu sparen. Ansonsten müssten sie mehr Geld oder eher gesagt Gold bezahlen. Ist jetzt nicht nach meinem Geschmack, aber so ist nun mal die Story hier. Und jetzt soll ich dazu noch den Sir befragen. Den Sir de Corsillon. Ach, den sprechen wir jetzt leider noch. Das machen wir jetzt sofort hier. Da ruft er schon nach uns.
But I still don't see Constantine at your side. I hope he hasn't been the victim of any foul play.
Don't worry. We'll find him in time for departure.
I certainly hope so. Would you be in need of my help in any way?
So, direkt mal nach dem Vertrag fragen.
I've had a word with Lady Fontaine. You must know her. That rich family that lives near the docks. She told me a strange story about her son who was a cabin boy on our ship. She said that he was taken when he was a child due to some contract with the Nords.
Who was a cabin boy? Do you mean he's no longer one?
They took him back to bring him home.
Well, that is very unpleasant news, de Sade. We need to do all we can to bring the boy back to his ship. Since time immemorial, there's always been a certain price to pay for the services of the Nords. Children born on their ships belong to them. It's the rule of the sea. But certain contracts are so important that they also require children to be offered in exchange. From time to time, the congregation has passed such accord, and certain noble families had to give their children up.
Are you telling me that the Fontaines lost their son because of some agreement signed between my uncle and the Nords?
No. That pact ended a long time ago. This cabin boy couldn't have been a part of that contract. But Sir Fontaine has made a fortune trading with the Alliance, via ships.
Do you mean he would have offered up his own son in exchange for wealth?
Well, he probably did it before the birth of the child, and regretted it afterwards. But that is of little importance. What counts most is that you bring the boy back to the Nords as quickly as possible. Breaking a contract with the seafarers has always cost us dearly. Our nation could feel it in its coffers.
I will do my best.
A father selling his own son for a few boat rides. For ugly, that is ugly.
Lady Fontaine didn't seem to have any knowledge of that detail. That could be of use to us.
Also ist wohl der Vater schuld an der ganzen Misere. Der Vater hat seinen ungeborenen Sohn aufgrund von Gold an die Nauten verkauft. Und möglicherweise weiß seine eigene Frau nichts davon. Aber was die Frau dazu zu sagen hat, das schauen wir uns in der nächsten Folge an. Ich hoffe, ihr seid dann wieder dabei. Wo laufe ich denn hier lang? Nochmal, ich hoffe, ihr seid dann wieder dabei. Und bis dahin mögen die Hörner stets nach oben ragen.